I just got on, I noticed something different. Usually it lists Twitch, everything, all the other streams that you could be on. Facebook has been removed. So that's interesting. It no longer shows as an option. Can't say I'm unhappy about that. Facebook should be removed from this earth. Just pull the plug on it. Stuff. Like I've said before, social media it's death throes. Especially when COVID gets over. Nobody will. What will be the new expression? Going real. That'll be the new expression. Going real. And going real will mean going off screen to be somewhat of what we were before we had this ridiculous screen business. People will go back basically and say, hey, I want my life back. Screw the screen. That wasn't life. That was just a screen. You know, people will go back and do more humanistic things and be normal human beings, not be some kind of pathological thing looking at a screen. Anyway, here I am using a screen, right? It's all about sharing, this is the thing. If you look at it soup to nuts, you look at it, if I was in a tight personal relation and had that 100% going, I'd probably never be on the screen. There'd be no reason for it. If you'd be in a beautiful relationship with somebody else and you'd be relating to them, why would you need a screen at all, really? It wouldn't be necessary. Except maybe travel. That's the only thing. And you could do that on YouTube. It's a good platform. Anyway, we've got a bagel here. Bagel topper with egg and cheese. Tastes okay. Probably not real healthy, but turkey sausages, yogurt, coffee is acceptable. Not bad. Like I say, for the package here, it represents value for money. Internet is stable, good. I'm using their internet. There's a view of the hotel lobby, the breakfast lobby, whatever you want to call it, breakfast area. Looks all right. Anyway, you gotta put the phone down so you guys can watch black. So it didn't really matter whether the cannabis thing had a line through it or not. Just don't smoke the stuff. When you take anything, the lungs weren't designed to process that stuff. If you think about the body, it wasn't designed to process smoke and pollution. It's just a pollution, burning plant material. So there's my take on that one. Got to listen to your body, No. Again, it does go back to what I was talking about on the sundial bridge yesterday. Very important message. But to be honest, the message shared in there was probably the most important thing that I could say in this life. Nothing more important to share. I can't think of anything more important than that message that I conveyed. But few will listen to it. Few will listen to the replay. You look at the numbers, and you get these broadcasts virtually about nothing. There's nothing really important in them, and you have huge numbers. just garbage broadcasts. So that's the stuff that I won't spend time looking at. You got 10,000 viewers, so what? Even if you got 10 billion viewers, it wouldn't matter to me because it's just fake. You know that. So it's proven. I did that on one of the Google test servers. They did a live stream and they showed how you can manipulate numbers server side. So you could do a broadcast. You could have like 20 people in it, or you could have 2 million people in it and totally manipulate socially the response, which was interesting. Of course, movie stars, they love it. You know, people like Katy Perry or Barack Obama as well. Well-known people will manipulate numbers like that too, but they already have a presence in reality, so it's fine. They didn't create themselves on social media. You know, already been through all that stuff ad nauseum. The oatmeal is sort of just meh. Satisfying though. So for about, I guess, $100 retail, you get the whole package. Retail cost. Used to know somebody who went around the world. I think he was Polish, and he had a YouTube channel, and pretty successful. And he would go around reviewing hotels, Middle East, Asia, more often than not, South Africa. And the hotels would pay him a certain amount to do the reviews, and he was able to pay for a lot of his expenses by doing these reviews. Marriott, I think Marriott, he did them, and maybe Hilton, I'm not sure. And everybody thought he was from Thailand or Chinese or something, but he was Polish. You know, he couldn't identify his accent. Took me a while to do it, but you just sort of stab in the dark to figure out where somebody's from. So, yeah, Polish. There's a fellow in Japan who does that too. I've forgotten his name, but he's in Japan. Always puts the temperature on his broadcasts, which is amusing. It's in Tokyo. He puts the temperature in Fahrenheit, I think, too. A few countries that do use Fahrenheit. Nobody on here, but show live. Let's see what that looks like. Should be perfect. Show live. Yep. So one helpful thing is if you're broadcasting, hit the show live button, the audience preview pops up. It should pretty much just show what you're looking at. You can see if there's any lag or bad quality. And again, the good old pan from side to side, like that, will tell you if your broadcast is going good. Like it is right now, we have a strong internet. You can pay. There's a $4.95 fee here for super strong internet, but this is just their standard one, which is perfectly all right. Speeds are good. Why pay extra? Just don't need it. Just hit 9 o'clock here, so nothing to see out the window. It's not a sunny day, though. Some television here. Don't know what it is. Some kind of game show or something. Yeah, there we go. Some sort of game show. corporate crowd has long since left and is busy swatting away in their offices. Um, so breakfast starting at 6 a.m. So it's going to say the 9 to 5 crowd, but people these days they have to work extra hard, I think, compared to before. It's just pretty frantic. Uh, the cost of everything goes up, including foodstuffs. Just cost of living is pretty high. And, salaries go up too, but it's only just barely commensurate. So you're just probably not really keeping up. Mm, mm. So I think leisure time, in this day and age, is really valuable. I mean, if you have it. And again, I would probably engage in, building your circle of friends. That's what I would do. You know, Even if you just, let's say, you just move to a new place, well, that's what you do. You reach out to your people you're in contact with through your work or otherwise. Mm, These are strictly off-screen contacts, people that are in real life. Um, that you want to connect with and build something. And just maybe, in that universe of people, that collection of people, whatever you want to call it, maybe somebody special that you want to spend some time with, and maybe spend a lot of time with, like the rest of your life. Ultimately, but that's a stretch, of course. Um, that's how you do it, though. And it doesn't matter what somebody does in this life. It doesn't matter anything about that, where they came from. As far as I'm concerned, all I care about is the energy field that they output. That server at Starbucks yesterday, and where was it? I don't know where it was. Red Bluff. It could have been in Anderson. I'm not sure. It was up the valley. Um, it could have been the caffeine, but I don't think so. Personality was shining through. It was more than just caffeine. She had a meet and greet type of personality. She had, let me just say, somebody who was more concerned about other people and their lives than their own little life. A bad way of putting it, but you know what I mean. And is that so unusual? Yeah, it is. Really unusual. Um, really, very, very much so. Because most people are still very, the internet has not changed that. People are very self-centered, I think. They're into their own thing. And, as I've said before, here's a test of people. Do they ask about your life? Do they show interest in you after you've shown interest in them? Or maybe apropos of nothing, just immediately, like a server at Starbucks, they would drive in, she was showing interest in me. I mean, not in any way like that, but just genuine interest. Um, all the while being very professional. And it's unusual to most people in those jobs, or any job really. They're just there doing time, and they don't put the energy out because they're just doing time. All they're thinking about is the time they get off, and maybe the paycheck, what they're going to do with the money that they've made, or how they're going to make bank, to pay stuff. And it's very stressful, the whole job thing. They're not going to be putting out a good field of energy for anybody. Um, but she was. And I have no idea her personal situation. She might have had a, terrible situation in some ways in her life, but she was not letting that interfere, not at all. Um, Again, it goes back to what I was saying yesterday. All goes back to that. Sort of hard to talk to just a screen about these things, but there will be people on the replay who will listen. But yeah, the internet, social media in particular, has probably made people much more selfish. And that's the test, the true test that I apply to it. Do people, given that technology, given the many years now, we've got over 10 years since smartphones, whatever have been on, Apple, Android, whatever flavor you like, are people asking more unselfish, altruistic questions like that scenario where they're asking about your life, showing interest in you? And the answer is absolutely not, in my opinion. It's less so, much less so. In fact, I'm bowled over almost when somebody asks personally about how my life's going, beyond just how are you, just standard automated questions. How's your job going? What kind of job do you do? How's your family? How's your whatever, some particular detail about me. Yeah. So, and that's why politics and religion do not fit into that universe. They cannot, because they are selfish. They are selfish channels. Absolutely. People don't want to ask the personal questions, so they turn to non-personal topics like those, which are, I mean, do what you want to do. It's a free country, as they say. It's a free, freedom of expression, which I encourage. Don't encourage anything otherwise. But you've got to consider what it does. You step back and you look at it. You say, okay, is this good for me? What is it doing? Is it going to help me to become a better person by connecting to other energies, by making myself better by doing that? Like again, the server at Starbucks, whatever it is. Doesn't mean I'm going to take her out for a date. That's not what it means. And watching the whole behavior on the internet, which few people do, they just do it. They don't see their own behavior, own responses. They don't look at that. You have to look at that, because if you can't look at that, you'll never be outside of it. You'll never be vital. You always just be. Your brain will just be some. Your brain will be like those light fixtures. Just static. Hannah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they aren't real. They aren't real friends. Exactly, that's true. It's a way to pass time. Although, having said that, can you meet good people on the internet? Yeah, I think it's possible. You have to have a very aggressive filters. Exactly, I agree, Hannah. That's true. That's true. I'm not saying it's not possible to do that. You can. And there are certain people. If you look at my follow list, you could pick out a few people and say, yeah, I'd want to meet those people too. They seem like people in real life. And go back to Periscope. That's why they had the Perry meetups, because they wanted to test that. And Kayvon, bless his heart, he was misguided in a lot of ways, but he was not wrong about that. And his whole idea was to get the idea of the meetups going to balance the social media, because he saw that. He did. And Jack Dorsey saw that too. The guy who runs Twitter. Twitter and Periscope are the same sort of philosophies. The other social medias out there, the the Facebook world, the YouTube world, that's not part of their universe. But it was part of Periscope's, and so people met and friendships were made, and even if people got married. A few people did. It happened, you know. It happened because they met physically, because they had all their senses applying, to each other physically. They were able to sense each other in person. The screen is just a weak, very weak facsimile of what is actually happening, and that's the best way I can say it. A weak facsimile. Remember the old fax machine? Yeah, all right. Well, you could say that. Yeah, empathy is in person, of course, but yeah, I could see that. You know, not as a substitute, but as a channel, as some kind of a vehicle. Sure. Because some of them were quite pathetic. Well, yeah, and they came on for different reasons. That was the problem. You see, people have different motivations. Some of them were good motivations and led to good things. The other things were just goofing off or trolling or whatever it was. They weren't positive or wasn't constructive. Wasn't going to go anywhere. Finding an outlet for their aggression, whatever it was. It doesn't really matter what it was. Yeah, lots of friends, and that's good. My sister's like that too. Wherever she goes, she says, "Well," and she's going to be in a place where she has to move too pretty soon. She says, "Well, I'm not so concerned about the friends. I make friends easily wherever I go. It's just the physical part about moving that sucks. That's the part she hates. It's not the making friends at the other end." And I was like, right on. I agree with that. That's totally it. You know, moving does suck. Yeah, everything to be selected. And she has two dogs too, so the dogs have to be moved, and it's practical things that have to be done. I don't have any such attachments. So books, to a certain extent, yeah, it depends what kind of books. I'm very careful with books. Depends what kind of books again. Book club, I've never joined one. Where you discuss a book, that might be good. I think I did that on Meetup. There was a Meetup back up in Seattle where it was great books. You'd take let's say, Pride and Prejudice. Everybody's heard of that, Jane Austen. So you'd everybody be reading the same book, Pride and Prejudice, let's say, and then discussing it as they go, or by chapter, or however they wanted to do it to motivate discussions. As long as the books don't get political, current affairs, or real TV, or get into that zone, of news or whatever, that I wouldn't be interested in that energy. Because again, that taps into certain energies which I don't tap into. Oh, you're doing dishes. Wow, multitasking. As I was saying to Louise Poppy the other day, I said, well, I met somebody the other day. I know somebody, and they have to be doing one thing at one time. They can't be doing anything else. They never multitask on anything. And Louise Poppy said, how boring. Because you just got to keep the ball rolling, and I've never known how to do that otherwise. You got to keep the balls in the air, sort of a thing. If you're just focused on one thing, it's I don't know, it's just sort of different. Sure, you don't put glasses in the sink, that sort of thing. I don't know. I broke a glass some weeks ago. I put it in the sink by mistake, and you never do that. You'll separate your glassware, break stuff. Whereabouts are you, Hannah? I've forgotten where you are. What city are you in? I've already been on here 25 minutes, so I'll give it another 5 minutes. Oh, Florida. Okay, so you probably got similar weather. Sunny. It's going to be 92 degrees today, so it's pretty warm. You know, you know. Are you from there, or did you move there? I think you said you moved to Florida years ago, didn't you? Oh, you're not from Florida. Yeah. Okay. Oh, oh, okay. So you must have liked. Did you watch any of my Canadian broadcasts? I think you did. I went up to Prince Rupert and went up to Prince George and Fort Nelson, BC. You're from Toronto, right? Is that? I've forgotten. Toronto or something. Oh, and Prince George, yeah. George was okay. It's all right. I had a really good. There was one place in Prince George. I've forgotten the name of it, but it had a really good salad, which was like the salad was to die for. It was just the best salad I'd ever had, actually, in a restaurant. Oh, oh, up there. Seattle's all right. Um, as a city, though, Vancouver is much nicer than Seattle would ever be, I think. But that's just my opinion. Um, Still, it's better than LA. I'm not really LA is not really my game. Although pretty close to it here, but yeah, too much traffic. But speaking of LA, I'll be heading down close to there today, so I need to get on my. I'll give it another 5 minutes here. It sucks. Yeah, traffic. I don't know. It's too much. It's too big. I mean, it's the second biggest city in the whole country. It's almost as big as New York. Yeah, job traveling. So, just multiple things going on. So, a bit like Louise Poppy, I just pop around, travel as much as I can. But right now, COVID, it's limiting things. Can't do any, obviously can't do any overseas type of travel. It's just not possible. It's not possible to do that. Look at something different. The lights are amazing. Huge, huge lights. Aren't they kind of big? Yeah. Stuff on the table too. It's very Hilton-like, isn't it? It sort of has a Hilton feel to it. Front desk and things there. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to head out. So we're at the 29-minute mark. So see you later here. Make a deal. Let's Make a Deal is on TV. Yeah. We'll go ahead and end on that, I guess. Yeah, you too. Bye. Enjoy your day.